What's up traders? In today's video, I will be showing you the exact TradingView setup that I use as a smart money trader. So stay tuned. Now, towards the end of this video, I will also be showing you some technical analysis on GBP USD, just to show you what I'm looking at going into next week and going into the remainder of November. So definitely make sure that you stay tuned for that. Now, this particular video is one that was requested by a couple of you guys over on the YouTube comments as well as on Instagram. So I figured I'd just do a very quick video just showing you guys how I have my TradingView set up. Now, first and foremost, I only use TradingView to perform technical analysis and to do my charting work, all right? I don't execute any trades on TradingView. I do all of my trade execution over on MetaTrader 4. Now, what you see in front of you right now is the TradingView desktop app on Mac OS. As you can see, at the time of recording this video, this particular desktop app is up to date, version 1.0.17. The last update was the 25th of October 2022. Now, the only difference to the desktop app versus using the actual TradingView website is there's just a little bit more convenience in having a desktop app right there ready to go, and you don't have to open up a browser first before accessing your TradingView. Over the past few months, the guys over at TradingView have constantly been adding new features to the desktop app. They've been listening to the community of traders that uses the software, and honestly, I don't have any complaints using the desktop app. I have used the web browser version before, and honestly, I am not missing any features on the desktop app, right? Now, the first thing I want to talk about are the time frames that I use when performing technical analysis. I have 6 time frames in total. My 2 higher time frames are the weekly and the daily. My 2 mid time frames is the 4-hour and the 1-hour. And then my lower time frames are 2 of them again, the 15-minute and the 1-minute. Now, I perform and execute most of my trades on the 1-hour and the 15-minute, all right? The 1-minute I will very rarely go on, purely because I do trade alongside a full-time job and I don't always have the time or the luxury to go on the 1-minute to look for trading opportunities. Don't get me wrong though, you don't need to be a 1-minute trader in order to be a profitable trader, right? I get more than enough opportunities on the 1-hour, and I mainly only use the 15-minute to refine any zones that I may have identified on the 1-hour. Now, in order to add these time frames to this little window in the top left corner in here, all you need to do is click this little drop down arrow, and then all of the time frames available to you will be displayed, broken down in your seconds, your minutes, your hours, your days, and then ranges as well. In order to add these particular time frames to your window, all you need to do is go to the right hand side of whatever time frame you want to add, and then you just click favorite. So once you add that particular time frame to your favorites, as you can see, the 3-minute just appeared once I added it. If you don't want to use the 3-minute anymore, all you do is you remove it. Now, another quick way that you can cycle through the different time frames that you want is by using your keyboard. As soon as you hit 4, the default will be the 4-minute chart. If you click 4H, it'll take you to the 4-hour chart. And then if you click 4M, it'll take you to the 4-month chart. But let's just say we want to go to the 4-hour. As soon as you click and as soon as you enter 4H and click enter, then it'll take you to your 4-hour chart. All right. So first and foremost, time frames that I use and how to get them displayed at the top left-hand corner in here. Okay. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about are indicators. Now, I only use 2 indicators, and one of those indicators is purely for aesthetics. All right. So if we hit this little drop down menu in here to display the different indicators that you'll have, you'll see that I have the Asian session range indicator as my first one, and then the ZCFX watermark as my second indicator. So what is the Asian session range indicator? So you'll see around some of my candlesticks, you have these colored boxes in here, right? So you have a blue one, and then you have this green one in here. So what these colored boxes show you is they show you the different trading sessions that you have. So the blue one is my Asian session, and then the green one is my London session. All right. Now, in order to get this particular indicator on your chart, all you need to do is you need to hit indicators on the top in here, go to community scripts, and then all you need to do is you need to search FXN Asian session range indicator, and that's the one that I use, the FXN Asian session range indicator by Rob Minty. Honestly, really good indicator. Now you'll notice that this particular indicator uses Eastern Standard Time as default. The way the indicator works is the first half, all of this information at the top of your indicator under the inputs tab relates to your Asian session. All right. Because it's an Asian session range indicator, by default, it will always show you the Asian session range. Okay. If you scroll down a bit lower, you'll find the London session parameters that can be changed. And then below the London session, you have the New York. So you'll see that currently I don't have my New York session set up as showing. If I select that very quickly and I press OK, you'll see that this gray box that now came up is my New York session. All right. So just to quickly run through how I have this particular indicator set up, I have it so that my Asian session starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then it ends at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. For my London session starts at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then it closes at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then finally, New York session start time is 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time all the way until 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, because of the time zone that I trade in, I only trade the London session, and then I only trade the open of the New York session. So I don't display my New York session on the indicator purely because I know that in terms of my time, New York session opens at around 2 p.m. So the reason I have it set up in this way is because I want to know what my Asian range liquidity is, where it is, and then I want to know where my London session starts. Now I know that my London session normally starts around 9 a.m. The way I use that information is I know that once price action opens at London, I can then have a nice visual reference of whether or not Asian session liquidity has been taken or not. That is the Asian session range indicator that I use. The second indicator that I use is called the ZCFX watermark indicator. Now what this indicator does is it allows me to have this information displayed at the top as well as at the bottom. So at the top I have Camelthorn FX, obsession beats talent is one of the sayings that I like using. And then at the bottom it displays your date, your pair that you're trading, as well as the time frame that you're on. Now again, to access this particular indicator, all you need to do is go to indicators, select community scripts, and then you search ZCFX, all right, watermark by Zeus Capital. Click that, add it to your charts. How you can edit it, you go to the little settings tab, and then you can change the parameters of this particular watermark however you want. All right. Now, in terms of the chart colors that I use, I did post them on my Instagram at Camelthorn FX. If you're interested in using them, feel free to head over to my Instagram and you'll find them there. All right. Last but not least, the only other thing that I have set up on my TradingView is my watch list. So if you select this little button at the top right here called watch list and details, you'll see that I just have 3 instruments that I trade: GBP USD, USD CAD, and then NASDAQ. All right. So now that we are on the topic of my watch list, let's head over to GBP USD and let's just have a quick look at what I am anticipating going into next week, going into the remainder of November. So if we start off here on the daily chart, GBP USD, what you can see is that we're currently trading within premium pricing of a bearish daily leg. All right. We recently had a mitigation of a nice daily supply zone that sits within that premium pricing. And you can see that we had a really nice, strong bearish reaction off of that. However, while we did interact with that daily supply zone, what we also ended up doing is we also ended up creating just a little bit of relative equal high liquidity. Now, what this is suggesting to me is that there is a possibility that price action could trade a little bit higher and potentially mitigate this extreme zone here, which is actually a weekly supply zone. Now, to give you context, if I go out to my weekly time frame, what you'll see is we'll see that price action had a really strong bullish reaction to 105,450. And if I zoom all the way out, you'll see why this particular level is significant, because it is a level that price action previously came to all the way back in March of 1985, all right? And now, as recently as September 2022, price action came back down to interact with that particular level, and we had a really strong bullish reaction. So because of the significance, because of the historical significance of this particular level and the sharp bullish reaction that we saw off of this particular level, there is a possibility, all right? There is a possibility that from a weekly time frame point of view, we could be seeing maybe just a little bit more bullishness. And I have it earmarked as this weekly supply as the zone that we could see price action drawn towards because of this strong bullish reaction. Now, that particular weekly supply zone is that zone that we see here on the daily. So there is a possibility from a higher time frame point of view that we could see price action trickling a little bit higher. Granted, we have seen a mitigation within premium pricing of a bearish leg, so logic would dictate that the week low would have to go. But again, because of the overall context of the market, because of what we've been seeing from a geopolitical point of view, there is a possibility that price action could trade just a little bit higher. So if we go now from the daily down to that 4-hour chart, what we can see is from a 4-hour internal structure point of view, after price action came in and created this new week low, essentially what we had is we had really nice bullish price action here on the 4-hour with the recent 4-hour break of structure coming in here, all right, before a retracement. Now, this 4-hour break of structure has given rise to a new bullish 4-hour leg in here. You can see that's my equilibrium. And obviously, we had a successful pullback down towards the extreme of that 4-hour leg. We had a mitigation at the open of that leg. And then obviously on Friday, we had non-farm payrolls coming out, pushing price up a little bit higher. And we can now anticipate, right? We can anticipate that price action is now on its way to potentially take this 4-hour week high in here, because of the fact that we successfully mitigated something in here, all right? Now, we can anticipate that this week high is going to go because this high failed to create a new low, all right? It failed to violate this low, so there is a possibility that it can be taken. So we have a bullish bias on the 4-hour. Currently, we're seeing price action interacting with this 4-hour zone in here. What I would like to see, and if we drop down to the 1-hour chart here, bearing in mind that we have this overall 4-hour bullish bias, and there's a possibility that price could be trading a bit higher on that daily time frame and on that weekly time frame, I would like to see maybe a short-term bearish reaction from this 4-hour supply zone in here, okay? Maybe a short-term bearish reaction to pull price down to either this 1-hour demand, which has been refined on the 15-minute, or maybe a bit deeper to this 1-hour demand before that 4-hour bullishness continues, all right? So going into next week, what I would like to see is, I would like to see if this zone will hold. Maybe we can look for a lower time frame change of character, potentially on the 15-minute. If we get that, then we could trade short-term to the downside, okay, before looking for potential buys in here, okay? Now, just because we are anticipating a short-term bearish reaction from here does not mean that we need to find a trade in here, because price action might not even give you an opportunity to do that. But if it does, notice how there is a really nice setup that could be had in here. If price action just decides to shoot through this particular zone, no problem. We'll wait for it to present a long opportunity for us then, okay? And there you guys have it. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure that you give it a like. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future content. As always, I appreciate you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.